Hello everyone, it's Simon here from High Playing Games. Hope you're all having a great day, and welcome to Defenders of Ekron, a new shoot 'em up, which also combines some platforming and puzzle elements into the mainstream bullet hell action that's coming along. Although it's not massively bullet hell. What I'm going to do is go right into the very beginning, because the way how the game is focused is that you have like a beginning level which is very shoot 'em up based, which is kind of what one of the 10 stages are. Then it dives off into the puzzle-y type elements where it walks you through like a more platformy tutorial style of stuff. So I want to show you both, and also the extreme jump in difficulty between the two. So let me just erase my save and go for a new game. So this is coming out on PS4, Xbox and PC. I'm just going to see if I can get through some of the cutscene. I don't think I can. But it's a beautiful game to play when you're playing in the shoot 'em up areas. There's some wonderful parallax graphics that you'll be seeing here. I love the drawing effects of everything. And I also like the fact that this game has some semblance of a decent narrative between yourself and the kind of trio that you're playing around with. So there's Sloan 1, there's us, or at least at the beginning, us anyway, NES. Seraph looks very evil. Looks like they've been run over. And this is us. So, left stick to move around on the screen, right stick to aim in a direction that you want, R2 to shoot. So, very simple to begin with. You can see my bullets are on the right hand side, but they're decreasing the more that I shoot and the more that I play with them. You need to let go for it to fuse over time, which you can see there. The other weapon that we've got is to press and hold R2, and it targets enemies and shoots them. Now it drops the ball or the plasma wherever you are on the board, and this comes in quite heavy for the puzzle elements that we'll see a little bit later on in this video, because you'll need to kind of plant things in different directions and go nuts for it. Hey, it's a friend. Hey chum. Hey Sloan. I mean, this is very much the beginning level, so it's doing a lot of help for you. But what I will say is that when it actually gets to the... Oh, it's doing everything for me. Fine, that's alright. I'll just sit here and chill. But when you get to the more tutorial-y platforming style stuff, the anti-Denarfo up, like pop up, is all I will say. So yeah, other things that I quite like is that levels moving in different directions. I know it's such a simple thing, but instead of just going straight forward, that's all great. I love that you can see stuff going on the ground or in different planes of what we're doing. That was my shield, by the way. I was meant to show you that a little bit later on. That is the shield. You do it by pressing both the shoulder buttons together. Oh, no, not anymore. And you can see my health is on the left hand side there. Health replenishes over certain little spots. To reload anyway, if you can. So. Here we go. That's part one. So, this little trigger is way less aggressive and less fun. But then you need to do your shields to get past that one. and they all three things take up from your shield there. So as you can see, if I hadn't have kind of paused a little bit to sort myself out, like I'm going to have to here, basically to ensure that I've got enough shield to get through, because as you can see the shield really does replenish stuff. So I really like that whole everything comes out of your energy mechanic, because it does make you think. And this is a thinker shooter mode, it must be said, because it's not just this, but when you get into the more platformy puzzle elements of the game, which I really enjoy but are quite hard and difficult, it does make you think. In terms of the actual moving around of this, it feels nice and relaxed and fine. Sometimes when in some of the levels where you can see that things are going on different screens, occasionally you start to think, well, which screen is mine? Or sorry, which plane is mine? Who is it that I'm actually aiming at? Because the screen gets a little bit busy. But I wouldn't say that it necessarily takes you very long to get used to it. It's just sometimes you do have to just think, where is it that I'm actually going today? Sometimes I do forget, I find, to use the L2, the laser stuff, because it takes a little while for you to kind of go, okay, and remember it, because I'm so used to just having lots of different blasters on maybe shoulder buttons, not shoulder buttons, but the face buttons. And as you can see, when you go through the game into later levels and you get different weapons to switch between, they're all down at the bottom there. Thank you, Sloan. Area clear. Dizzy Dizzy Dinosaur. And hopefully this guy will let us remember and teach all that we knew. I mean, you can see that. I mean, I know this is like boss one, but when it does become bullet hell, you've got this wonderful shield to help yourself out with, which is grand. Even then, I still miss it, so. Please give me some shield. Oh, I'll just hide behind you, that'll do. Changing form, baby, changing form. Just like a real boss should. Okay, yeah. But even like for an opening boss, this is still a good boss to learn the ropes and understand what the hell you're supposed to be doing. And so a fair chunk of the game is spent going through these 10 stages that you've got that's going on. And that's all wonderful. Oh, Zeev. What's happened to your eyes, mate? And then things flip between those type of stages and the stuff that we've got that's coming up, which I think is what really makes me think of... Oh, God. Now its name's escaped me. Velocity. Remember when Velocity went from its platformy stuff to everything else? I thought I had a longer save than that. Never mind. And you can see we're only 2% in. It's Velocity done like platformy type of stuff as well as shoot 'em up, and I would lumber Defenders of Ekron very much into the same type of genre. I love these cutscenes, by the way. They're very well drawn. And that does look quite badass. So, I think we've got a little mini cutscene here. Yes. Very mini. And then we're into the platformy element of it, which also gives you access to a few different modes. So, yes, you can wander around and walk around in here. Let's go into the train mode. Here we are. Now this training mode was the bane of my life because it's bloody hard, and it really does kind of amp up the pace, and this is the first thing that pops up that we are able to do. So on top of your normal modes that you've got in your shoot 'em up side of stuff, you've got Psy, which is your little robot friend, and you have analysis mode, which kind of turns your right analog stick into a mouse. And then when you get over something, you can hold R2 and analyse it, and it's used for picking up information, essentially. And so, I think it's this way. Yes. So your training mode essentially splits things off into 3 different modes of stuff. And what I'm going to kind of show you is, we'll go down this one first because this one was easier. It basically makes you hone in on your instruments. Now you saw that I was doing all right beforehand and nothing was particularly terrible. But what these trials kind of do is make you go, oh God, how lucky was I? Because this really ups the pace and puts you into rooms of drama. Survive and get round. And you can use your... This one's specifically about trying to use the... shield, which you can kind of find that it wants to revitalise. But I really like the way how this is all done, because it's really clever. Completely ruined that, but I got through it anyway. And then what will happen is that you'll find one way of getting out of the room. It'll give you some information that kind of helps guide you on your way with these little things. So remember that shields are only effective against energy shots. Remember to enter the database to review the information. It's very simple, and you know when you've done those because those go green. The other thing that you've got as well is if you press up, you've also got this world map that you can kind of work out where you're going to and what you're doing, specifically with this tutorial exam that's going on. each of these 3 trials then ends with a boss battle. Now I've chosen this one because I found this one the easiest to deal with. So all the guns running outside will only shoot at you if you use your shield. So you need to use your shield effectively, otherwise you can't then hurt stuff. You need to kind of bounce the ball back. The one where you're playing with the actual main weapon is really hard because it essentially turns you into a dodgeball, because you can only use the main shooter that this guy's shooting at me at there to hit back at your enemy. But then all the walls are red lasered, and so they just bounce your shots back at you, and then they don't disappear. So you just keep on like having to avoid your shots, and I died so many times trying to get that one sorted and done. And that's what I mean about the big step up of difficulty. These things and these levels are like proper precision trials to work out just how like nuanced the controls are, and that's fantastic. I feel like sometimes that might actually help stop people's progress though, because with shoot 'em ups you can kind of proper smash your way through and get away with just button mashing and going nuts. But that doesn't necessarily mean that things are going to happen this time. Continue that and continue on. There we go. All good there. Back in our normal mode. So you can see that I've done that one there. I can even do the pulsar one that's over on here. Let's show some of this. I don't know if I'll be able to get through it all in one go. The other thing that I'd say as well is that this game, you can see you've got your auto aim and non-auto aim. This game is quite harsh with respawning on these particular things. So if you die at any point during any of this trial, you have to go all the way back to the beginning of your last finished trial. To the end of your last finished trial. So it means that you don't like just start back up at the puzzle that you failed on. I feel like that's minorly harsh. You can't break through these static things, sorry. I don't think I explained that. But the red lasers will just shoot things back at you, but this then starts to ask you to bounce shots around so that you can get through stuff. And I love... There you go, that's me screwing it up. I love all of this. Just sometimes the end bosses in these parts are just really difficult. And it's a proper stickler for precision. Did that hit the same thing twice? Yeah, it did. There we go. Let's get that through. Okay. I also got trapped, I think, at one point as well, because you don't have to collect these little particle things. This device contains document found, Ekron's geography. And that goes into your database. So you have a database that's full of information that you can kind of get alongside stuff and select stuff and open up and find a little bit more about the world that you've got in everything that you've got, characters that you've been interacting with, stuff like that. Which is all very nice, and bonus reading material for those that want a story. Ooh, these have all gone a little bit skew with. Oh, it's because I'm in that mode. There we go. Oh, now this one buggered me up for a VV long time. Have we done this right now? Oh, not quite. So you can see what I've got to do. I've got to basically try and not hit myself, but hit the green one. There we go. we got there in the end. Now, sadly, I've lost some of my life. And this is possibly one of the most evilest bosses ever in the world. Because you have no shield. So you have to dodge, and then you have to think, right, I can only really hit you when I think I can. So it teaches, like, proper patience. But I'm not patient enough. And as you can see, it does not hurt you when you do get hit. Unlike Blue Shadow. And so we're going to die here again. But I just wanted to show... That was just terrible, Simon. I don't know why you've done that. I want to show just like the level of problem that you may have with this game straight off the bat. I'd kind of hoped that there would be a bit more of an easier mode for this to kind of get through, because if this is like a training exam and it doesn't let you go through, there we go, we died. You're only ever going to see one shoot 'em up level, so you've really got to be precise and learn your trade. This is a game that doesn't take prisoners, or sorry, takes no prisoners, you know what I mean. And that's what it does. It puts you right at the beginning of that trial again. And so I've spent most of my time playing this game kind of trying to get through this tutorial stuff. Doesn't mean that the game's bad. I just wish that it was a little bit more it had more of a difficulty curve getting up to it, so that I felt like, because I breezed past the initial stage, it's almost like it lures you into a bit of false sense of security. But what's here and what I've played so far is really good. I have got beyond this stage once, and continued playing on, and the shoot 'em up side of stuff actually, whilst technically difficult, is way easier than this. And that's what I'm talking about with this like weird it's like a difficulty hill, or like mound, as opposed to like a difficulty mountain, if that makes sense. Because it does go down the other side. It's bizarre. Now, the only thing I don't know about is if this has got a full trophy and achievement list, including the platinum trophy, because trophies are disabled because this is a preview build. But yeah, I think shoot 'em up brothers will really enjoy this. I love the difference between these kind of room levels and what's going on in the shoot 'em up phase. If the difficulty curve could be softened out slightly, I think I would get much more enjoyment out of it. Looks beautiful. I think the sound's good. The art design in the cutscenes is beautifully hand drawn. There's a really good amount to like here of Defenders of Ekron. And if you like your little retro shooters, shoot 'em ups, I think you'll find plenty to love here. So thank you very much for watching here on Higher Plane Games. I will come back to this and show you some later stuff at a later point. And a written review will be coming up on higherplanegames.com when my website launches later on this month officially. And I've actually got closer to the end of the game. So take care all. Bye for now.